Hey guys, PrinceofMacedon here. I'm going to do a commentary video for Total War Rome 2. This is the reverse battle of my last video, where I was commanding the Scythians, and my opponent was using the Carthaginians representing Numidia. This time, I get to use the quote-unquote Numidians, and I'll be not talking about the history as much this time. I'll be talking more about the battle. And my opponent in this battle is StevenKafkas, and this took me 5 hours to set up. 5 hours, I kid you not. From 7:30 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. Not a single game would go through, and then I came back an hour afterwards to do it for another hour. Finally, I found someone who stayed in the game and started the game. Basically, the biggest problem was that people either didn't have Scythia, or they were really not cooperating. One guy actually got through the deployment section. He bought his troops. When I got onto the next screen, I noticed he upgraded all of his units, which I told him not to do. But anyways, yeah, the Numidian army here. There is no Numidia for custom battles vanilla for Rome 2, so I had to use Carthage to represent their army. But this Numidian army represents the Numidian army at the Battle of the Muthil River, and that was way back in 108 BC. Whereas the Scythian army here represents the Scythian army of Satraces at the Battle of the Jugurtha River. That was in 329 BC, and they lost against Alexander the Great. So about 15,000 Scythians against 20,000 Numidians. So here was my strategy. I just spread out my lines like that. Look at that. That's a pretty far stretch. I wanted to use my peltas at the screen to absorb the missiles from the Scythian army, knowing they had a lot more missiles than myself. So I wanted to use my peltas to absorb that. So first I'm shifting my army this way. I don't want to get hit in the flank. So I'm trying to stretch my lines out. This is pretty basic stuff here. So these are my my peltas here. And again, in a previous battle, it was said that my gosh, Jugurtha, the guy I'm using his army, he might have had slingers and archers. He definitely had archers at another battle, but in this particular battle, they didn't really specify. Who knows? I just played it safe, and I went with a pure javelins, but that's something that they definitely had. They definitely had these javelin cav, and they definitely had 84 war elephants. This unit of African war elephants represents those 84 war elephants of Jugurtha. So here we are, getting closer here to the conflict. I see him getting closer to this little gap here, so I'm going to use my Numidian cav to fill that gap. Basically, I'm trying to force him to use up his archers, use up his missiles. So he's going to scoot up within range here, or he's going to inch up. The other danger is that he would just charge in. So I kept my elephants on one side and my general on the other, just to meet any melee charge that he might try to do against my peltast. Alright, so the battle has begun. Got tongue-tied there. And I know in a once I got within range with my javelins, I could easily destroy his horse archers. And you can see what's happening here. Yeah, some people were jumping the gun and saying horse archers are OP. They are not, actually. I've made so many videos showing how weak horse archers are. They're not like Rome 1. Rome 1, they were awesome. Here, they're beatable. But I'm gonna use my Jav Cav to just outshoot him. So all the action is on this side, but he's also moving up these guys too. See that? He just wants to get in range so he can start shooting my dudes. So round 1, that went to me there. I took out a lot of his horse archers that came within range. He took down 20 of my Jav Cav in that unit. 2 in that, 0 in that, and 8 in that. So it was about an even scruffle there. So I see his general unit coming down this side somewhere. Well, during the battle I did. So I moved down my melee units. Because, as I said, the biggest fear here, it wasn't the missiles, it was the fact that he could just charge in and take out my foot units. So that's why I'm focusing all my melee units on the side. Here's the tactical overhead here. That's what's going on. Two big straight lines. Two giant skirmish lines. As I said, I wasn't fearful of the skirmish phase here. So he's going to move back up here again. So I'm going to charge forward so I can get within range of for my javelins. So that volley killed a lot of my guys there. But when I shoot back, I take down some of his too.
Riders at the double! Advance!
So one of my Peltis units got routed here. See them? They're gone. These guys are starting to waver over there. Getting shot by all those horse archers. That's fine. There is his general right there. Now against those guys, my javelins won't be as effective. Those guys have pretty good armor. But I'm bringing up my general too, and my elephants to deal with his general and his other melee unit. So he's definitely doing some really good damage right here. And eventually, I'm going to move up my Peltis here, so I can get them within range to use their javelins. Eventually. At some point here, I move them up. But the action over here is pretty quiet. I noticed that, so I wasn't going to even bother. And I noticed he was missing a lot with his archers over here. That's why I wasn't too concerned. Like, losing one horse every so often wasn't too damaging, as long as I was draining his missiles. I just wanted to waste his ammo. Alright, so here my Peltists are exchanging fire with these guys. They took down like 11 dudes, I think, or so. I'm not sure if that 11 was done purely by that Peltist. Don't know. Back!
Fire! Fill the skies! Attack for Carthage!
Alright, so now moving up my foot units here. I should have ran them though. I don't know why they're just creeping. But still, the damage is pretty minimal right now. See that? As they inch forward, they're not taking too many casualties. Now I run them. Now there's a general blitz on this side for a second. So I see his general coming in too. He's over on this side. So I'm going to move forward here and just exchange missiles with his guys. See, at point blank, my guys are pretty damn good. See that? Look how many people I just killed in a few seconds. They're down to half strength already. So this guy's coming forward here.
Find your targets!
And even my foot units aren't doing so bad. They're just outnumbered here. But they did some damage to one of those units. See that? Look at that, 28. Okay. And with my javelins, I routed another unit over here. And I see these horse archers standing around, so I'm going to charge in with my general. Here comes Jugurtha. He's feeling pretty confident of his abilities as a warrior. So he comes in charging in, and he knocks out a steppe horse archer unit. So here comes his one of his units of Scythian royal horse. His general's on the other side right there. See that? Now here come my elephants too. I figure since his general, or since this royal horse unit's there, my elephants could have some kind of part in this battle. It's a general chaos everywhere. See that? Haha, General Chaos. That's a character in South Park, right? Is it General Chaos or Dr. Chaos? Okay, here's where the crucial fight's happening here. Make or break time. And since he went in for a melee, I'm going in for melee too. Boom! Very out of character for both troop types to be doing this. Although it is recorded that they would charge it sometimes. Like the Battle of Cannae, even the Numidians were charging in at melee. They weren't really suited for it though. But look at this, my elephants. I misjudged them. They are not doing so well in this brawl with the with these guys. The Scythian Royal Horse and the Steppe Horse Archers. I greatly underestimated their... or I underestimated their abilities there in a fight. So I actually lost my elephants for the most part. Like, one survived, see that? They count as 2, but it also counts as a person on top. And then my general unit fell down to 14. And he charged over here on this side. That was my fear, that he would charge in. Because if he just shot it out, I would have had a really good chance. But yeah, my Peltas would not hold their ground in a fight like this. That's why it favors him. If it was an equal number of horse archers versus an equal number of jab cav, then it would have been more equal. So that's why I tried my best to keep my troops in unison, like use my horses to ward off such charges. But it's one big melee fight now. Not what you'd expect from 2 skirmish factions here, or 2 skirmish-style armies. But that's what it came down to. Bam! And here goes my general here. I'm gonna try to win on this side in this big glob. He's winning on the other side. See that? Here's the tactical overhead. So lots of blinking units. But you can see most of those blinking flags are mine. So in the Battle of the Blood, it looks like the Scythians are going to win this one. But my approach was, I think it was correct. That was just to, you know, keep my different arms in unison, and hopefully drain his missile supply. But yeah, the biggest threat here was getting charged by these horse archers. There are so many of them. But a very good game to Kafkas. I'll show you the damage here. StevenKafkas. Pretty sweet stuff. If you want to see the first battle, I played against Damobra. He was using the Carthaginians, quote unquote, the Numidians. And again, I can't stress this enough. There is no Numidian faction for Rome 2, and I'm not gonna download some mod. I don't do that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later.